The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where, as usual, we're going to be going through some of the state and national sports betting reports from the previous week. We're going to be talking about a few deals that happened over the last week here, especially one that just came out of nowhere.
Oh, a blockbuster.
Yes.
I guess that's what you would call a blockbuster deal.
A very unexpected blockbuster.
Yeah.
We got our usual industry updates, including the launch of a brand new Racebook that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
And we're going to end up with the legislation, and we have an update on Ohio to talk about. So finally we get to hear.
Yeah, we finally got a date for Ohio.
Yes,
finally got a date for Ohio.
But we're going to start off with some numbers. We're going to start off the numbers segment talking a little bit more about the American Gaming Association State of the State report.
Okay.
I'm finding nuggets here and there that are really, really impressive, and I have to thank the American Gaming Association. That report is so complete.
Well, it's always complete. They always have these reports that, they give these stats that you really don't think of, and it's really, really interesting. Well,
the first stat we're going to throw out to people, it's the 7th consecutive month the national handle has surpassed $6 billion in the post-PASPA era.
Wow.
That's
7 months in a row, really?
7 months in a row.
All right.
The combined national handle from the 7 months of wagering in 2018 when PASPA was overturned totaled $4.6 billion.
Wow.
So we are now 7 straight months of $6 billion. That's $42 billion straight. So look at that combination. I guess it's a matter of not only more books in already established states, but more states.
Yeah, more states.
And more jurisdictions, I should say, because Washington, D.C. is a jurisdiction.
Yeah. So what are we up to? Is it 35, 36 states plus Washington?
I think we're 35 plus Washington.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Right.
And
for sports betting.
There's still a shot at North Carolina coming through with some sports betting legislation. They're still doing their shortened session.
And a couple of months, Ohio.
Ohio's already passed it.
Well, they passed it, but do they count as one? I know they didn't launch it.
They legalized it.
Okay, as long as you legalize it, you don't have to launch it to be counted as a sports betting state.
When they launch, they'll be one of the fully launched states. But right now, they are
got to
legalized
change
state.
that. You should have it launched before you're counted as a legal sports betting state.
Well, technically, you pass a law, it's legal.
I'm sorry, Ohio. I got to. I'm crying foul on this one.
Okay, you
should not be counted as a legal sports betting state unless you launch it.
So you're going to be one of those technical guys when we're talking about this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, another stat that came out of the State of State report was the nationwide legal sports betting handle. And this goes to the 7 consecutive months, too.
Okay.
For the first quarter of 2022, we may have discussed this already, but it's kind of an interesting number still to throw into with this other number that I threw out there. First quarter 2022 reached an all-time high. This is handle, national, $26.34 billion.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, more than double what it was last year. And again, I think that goes to the number of states and jurisdictions and also the increased number of books, too.
Sure.
And I think you also got to look at even for states like in Illinois, dropping their in-person registration. That affected their numbers as well. That increased their numbers, as a matter of fact. I think they even have an increase, if you look at it, even in terms of even the slowdown, because there's more people betting even in the slow months. When you compare it to the slow calendar for sports, I think the fact that nobody has to go to a casino now, let's sign up, that makes it even more attractive to Illinois residents there.
We're coming up to I guess it's sort of a bizarre betting event, and that's on July 4th is the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. I wonder how many states will carry that, because every year I bet on that, and I know a lot of people who bet on that, and it's always Joey Chestnut and take the over and things like that. But I'm very...
At some point, it's got to be under.
At one point, it's got to stop.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just curious to see how many states allow stuff like that, like the Oscars and Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Well,
I'm very curious.
That's actually a 2-level question, because not only is it the states, but it's also which books are going to do it.
I can't wait to see New York's numbers. This is the first time mobile betting in New York will have the Coney Island event. Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
I don't know if it's allowed yet.
I don't know why I'm focused on this, but
it's almost July 4th.
It's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Well, again, it's a matter of, I think
that's weird. I know it's weird on my part. But,
DraftKings is still the sponsor for it. So they're going to offer it.
Sure.
I don't know what other book is going to offer it. I don't remember who else offered it last year.
I can't remember where I placed my bet.
Did Caesars? No, not Caesars.
I can't remember.
We have to take a look and see exactly which books are going to be offering it, and also which New York books are going to be offering it too. Sure. So it'll be fun to see if actually they do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of New York, we talked about this last week too. They set a tax record, national tax revenue record. Here are the top 3 states, and this is incorporating New York's numbers through the week.
And this
May
is
29th.
top 3 states for tax revenue.
Okay. Tax collection. You want to call it that?
Sure.
Number 3 was New Jersey with $229 million.
Okay.
Now, they launched in June of 2018.
All right.
Then you have Pennsylvania as number 2.
Yeah.
$253 million launched November of 2018. So a couple months later after New Jersey.
Sure.
And then you have New York, number 1. Given the numbers that just were released this past week, they are number 1 with just over $270 million in tax revenue.
Well, New York has the highest tax rate at 51%. So, they were going to break records.
Yes, they launched January 2022 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And
January 8th, is
January
it?
8th.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And they've just shattered that record, and I think they're just going to keep growing and growing that gap between 1 and 2 and 3. I mean, maybe Pennsylvania could come close to them again, but I don't know after seeing what New York has done in this short a time. I don't know if anyone's going to catch that tax revenue record.
Probably not.
Maybe Ohio? Arizona?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. It's just
if California ever gets off their duff and allows sports betting, probably they'll be in the running for highest tax revenue collected. But New York is running away with that one.
And that's even with reporting handles under $300 million for the past 3 weeks and the last 4 out of 5.
Yeah, kind of a slump for New York.
Handle-wise.
Yeah, handle-wise.
The revenue is holding steady, which means the tax revenue is going to hold steady. As long as that revenue stays around $29, $30 million a week, I think you're going to see New York continuing to grow that record tax collection.
Sure.
So it bears watching, the fact that the handle's down,
be very curious.
Slow month maybe.
Yeah, I'd be very curious to see the numbers because right now the New York Rangers are doing very, very well in the NHL playoffs. So I'm curious to see how that affects the betting in New York.
Well, through May 29th, since we're on New York, combined handle since launch, $7.42 billion in handle, gross gaming revenue of $530.45 million, and like we said, tax revenue of just over $270 million, those are amazing numbers.
Oh no, they're great, unbelievable.
Those are legacy numbers for states,
sure.
In terms of individual states. But
look, everyone knew it would be great, and it is great. So,
yeah, they predicted it, and I don't know if they predicted.
You don't have to be an expert to know that New York was going to do very, very well.
I can't remember. Did they all predict this amount coming in, or are these amounts above or below what they're expecting?
I don't know.
I have to go back and take a look at some of the predictions because I have a feeling these are overperforming some of the numbers.
We have to look at the reports in December because I think that's when everyone was making their predictions about New York and things like that.
Moving out of New York. By the way, one last little nugget for New York. FanDuel has taken in $2.9 billion in wagers since it launched in New York. That's 39% of the overall handle of the state.
Okay.
So they are the market leaders. Even though did they launch first? I don't remember if they launched. I thought DraftKings launched first.
I think everyone just launched.
It was a shotgun start.
I think there was a whole bunch.
I think DraftKings and FanDuel both launched at the same time.
Yeah, I can't remember which one went live first. But
well,
I think everyone did it kind of at the same time.
It's always
most of them. There was like 6 or 7 that launched at the same time
because they had. No, I think the big 4 launched first.
I think so, or something
Caesars,
like that.
DraftKings, BetMGM, and FanDuel all launched together.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that ad blitz from Caesars.
Yeah, I remember Yeah, I remember getting emails from a lot of books, but there was a majority of them that launched, but we were talking about there was a bunch that didn't launch, and they were saying they have to play catch up, and I remember having that conversation. I don't know which ones did not launch, so I have to go back and look.
Well, I know every week in New York you actually see the third and fourth spots flipping between Caesars and BetMGM.
Sure.
But the first two are always FanDuel, DraftKings, FanDuel. But I think FanDuel's separating itself out a little bit in the New York market.
Okay.
Over in Colorado, the total handle for the industry has reached $6.9 billion.
Wow.
In handle for Colorado.
Wow.
So they're doing extremely well out there as well.
Yeah, no, that's a great market.
Nevada, they did not set any kind of monthly records in terms of handle, revenue, or taxes. They did set a record for the month of April in their history.
Okay.
It was the April handle was the highest ever in the state's history.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, 500.
That's a pretty important record. I think
it's not. I mean, I'm talking in terms of monthly record for the overall handle, but this was a strictly 1 month record. It's kind of a individual statistic that you throw out there.
No, okay, that's good.
582.5 million in handle for the month of April.
It would be interesting to see the handle in sports betting because the WSOP is there now for the next couple of months, and poker players are sports bettors, so yes. I'm wondering how that's going to help Nevada's handle. Are we going to see like this rocketing of these numbers for the handle in Nevada because of the WSOP?
Well, somebody pointed this out, and I gotta try and figure out who did this because I can't remember who posted, and I apologize. Somebody posted on Twitter that the WSOP is now situated between two Caesars sportsbooks.
Okay.
And they're almost equidistant from where they're playing. So I wonder if Caesars is going to have a...
it's on the Strip now.
Yeah.
There's there's a lot of people and a lot of gamblers in WSOP right now. So
what I would love...
I think the sports books are going to do really well.
What I would love, especially with the Caesars books there, I want to see their database on poker players and what their betting preferences are.
Well, I don't even know if you can do a survey like that.
If they're loyalty cards.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
you got their information.
That's a lot of research to be done. But
the computer spit out everything now. So
we'll see.
But again, those are the numbers for this past week. There are a whole bunch more. You can take a look at those on the fully printed out version of the book report on the blog, which I'll publish after this. Let's head on over to some deals. And as I teased at the top of this segment of the show, we had a very unexpected deal announced, a blockbuster deal between MaximBet and the rapper Nicki Minaj.
Does she like to be called a rapper? Does she do more than rap artist?
Female entrepreneur.
Well, call her recording artist. I think that's...
I guess that's a good way of phrasing it.
Much more than
rapper,
what you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, that was in the press release, so I'm just using what was in the press release.
Okay, they used the rapper in the press release? Okay.
Yep. So you can call her pretty much anything you want.
Okay.
Entrepreneur is probably the best word.
Can I just say I love what MaximBet is doing.
MaximBet is so
they're
unique
just
in the
so
market.
combining sports betting and pop culture. I think they're doing a great job. They're not in New Jersey yet. I hope they
will be.
I hope so. Yeah. Who did I interview from MaximBet?
Doug Turfer.
Yeah. No, they're doing amazing things at MaximBet.
He's head of brand.
Yep.
So doing a great job there.
Yeah, boy.
Again,
way to go, Doug.
Yeah. Nicki Minaj will be working with the book on merchandise, parties, partnerships, fan experiences, branding, basically anything to do with sports, celebrity, and music and betting. She's going to be basically running the show.
I know. It's great. I mean, this isn't just she's just a picture of her, and it's like it's just hey, look, Nicki Minaj likes MaximBet. No, she's actually going to be working at this. I love the fact that she's so involved with it.
Her actual title, she's going to be the new creative director of Maxim Magazine.
Yeah, which is great.
Special advisor to the Maxim board of directors. and actively involved in the company's ambitious plans for iGaming.
See, that's great. She's doing more than just being an ambassador. I love the fact that she's getting in on the creative side of it.
Which makes this not only atypical, but totally unexpected, because this goes beyond the normal ambassadorship deals we're seeing. Mm-hmm. I know we've had stories in the past, like with DraftKings, with Giselle and Tom Brady getting involved, especially on the eco side for DraftKings. This is strictly straight business, gaming, sports betting.
It's great. Great idea.
It came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone had any idea this was going to happen. It was very unexpected. I mean,
I'm surprised how they kept that quiet. Usually there's like a news report saying, hey, MaximBet is in talks with Nicki Minaj and something like that. But no, it was very quiet. I mean, I learned about it when it happened, which was very interesting.
Well, I wonder who approached who.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think it's great for both of them.
Oh,
this
is a perfect pairing. Because
whoever did it was a genius.
The Maxim magazine is still one of the best publications out there. Okay. And I think MaximBet, the book, is very different than a lot of the other books out there. I don't want to say it. I'm going to say it the wrong way here. They're more stylish.
Well, I
more so.
Like
than
I
some
said,
of the other books
I like Maxim the magazine. I always thought it was a great magazine. I love the fact what MaximBet is doing. Again, I can't wait till they get to New Jersey. I can't wait to try them out.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun to see them in Jersey.
Yeah.
A couple other deals to hit. We have IGT doing a deal with Colville Gaming, which runs 3 tribal casinos in central Washington State. They're going to be launching sports betting at those properties, so we're going to have 3 new books in Washington State at some point. Mm-hmm. No timetable yet. We have Betway back in the news making another deal.
Okay.
They had a deal with the Hamburg European Open, the men's finals, the men's championship tennis match.
Okay.
They now have expanded that into the men's and women's side, so they're going to be everywhere at this tournament.
Good.
That was a huge expansion for them.
And it's a logical expansion.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And it's also equitable now that more women are getting involved in sports betting.
Yeah.
We have women's tennis is now becoming an object of betting as well, too.
Great.
So PaySafe launched a brand new payment deposit program, which I found kind of interesting because everyone's talking about limiting betting in terms of actual...
I'm hearing horror stories from professional bettors about that they're limiting their bets. They're actually going into the sports book, and it's actually, you can't bet that much, or if you're going to bet another amount, or if you're going to bet over a certain limit, they're going to change the odds on you.
Right.
It's a horror story, man.
Well, PaySafe has introduced a new digital wallet that's going to be incorporated into the Skrill digital wallet platform. It's going to provide easier depositing methods for high-stakes American online gamblers.
All right, good.
So they're not limited with the amount they can put in.
Great.
So now they can put in whatever they want. They increase the limits. And I just think that was kind of an interesting platform to launch when everyone else is talking about limiting betting.
Yeah, no, it's a big issue.
It's a huge issue.
It's a big issue, especially if you're a professional bettor. I'm sure we're going to hear more about it in the future because certainly the books are allowed to do whatever is right for their business, but I think there has to be some kind of, information passed on to bettors about limits and odds and spreads, and especially how much you're betting and what spreads you're being offered and things like that. So,
and now we've got.
Was that cryptic enough?
Yes.
I'm not going to say particular names or specific books or anything like that, but it's a very interesting situation going on.
And now we have the really bad situation in New Jersey where they're doing that 2-factor authentication. I wonder if that's going to affect some of the deposit methods as well.
I don't know. No, I ran into that a couple times.
Yes.
So
that's a pain in the butt.
Well,
but I understand why.
I had to download a special app on my phone which gives you a number.
Authenticator.
It's called the Authenticator app, which is used in conjunction with certain sports books.
Yes, so they send a signal to the app. They get a code.
Yeah, I get a code from the one app, and I put that code in to verify who I am at a certain sports book.
Which is not too bad.
Hey,
it's still
unprotected.
A pain in the butt. It's still a pain in the butt.
It's a pain, but I know it's it's a good thing.
It's there for your safety.
It's for my financial well-being, I guess.
Couple industry updates to hit. One is the Caesars Racebook has just been announced and launched in 2 states.
I can't wait to try this.
This actually is kind of an interesting pairing between Caesars and Naira Bets,
which is the New York Racing Association.
Yes.
That's their official betting site, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, 2 states. They do
Ohio, Florida, right?
Ohio, Florida. They do plan to do more in the coming months.
I hope so. I can't wait.
Yes. I wonder how quickly they're going to be able to launch in certain other states.
Well, I was curious to see. I mean, I have an account with Caesars Sportsbook.
Yes.
And a couple weeks ago, I noticed, they updated it, and now they have a link to WSOP.com, World Series of Poker.com, online poker site. And I'm wondering if New Jersey gets the Caesars Racebook, will Caesars Sportsbook put a link to that like they did for WSOP on the Sportsbook? But I'm very curious.
Usually once you get permission
I would love that.
to do that sort of setup where you get, when you're able to launch in different states, usually those sports books, those casinos usually have a link to those things.
I hope so. Yeah, no, the WSOP.com was right at the top of when I log into my Caesars Sportsbook account. So hopefully in a couple months, I'll have Caesars Racebook.
Well, given the fact that it's a racebook and not a casino or a sports book, are you going to have to register for that one
I don't know.
well?
I don't know.
Before you can do a shared wallet.
I'm very, very curious about
two different areas, because I know the horse racing industry, especially the online horse racing apps, they are completely different than the online sportsbook apps. I know BetMGM has a deal with Naira Bets, and they haven't launched theirs yet.
Okay.
But it bears watching to see exactly what Caesars does with this.
And I know FanDuel has a deal with TVG.
Yes.
So,
yes. But I'm wondering if since this is Naira Bets that Caesars is working with and launched this, wherever Naira Bets is legal, does that give Caesars a leg up on the horse racing side, especially now with Twin Spires dropping the sportsbook and the casino and just focusing on horse racing? Do they become the main competitor to Twin Spires?
I don't know. The one thing I know, I'm not sure about the other sites, but I know Caesars Sportsbook and Naira Bets, the new Caesars Racebook, I guess they're going to have access to 250 racetracks around the world. So,
which they can also easily increase, too.
Pretty impressive.
Yes,
pretty impressive.
Right off the bat, that's a huge number of tracks.
I think it's great.
So it'll bear watching. I wonder how this affects Caesars in California too. They do all the horse racing out there. I mean, I wonder if Naira Bets has access to California. And if they did, would that give Caesars a leg up in California?
Not a California lawyer, so I don't know the law.
I just don't know exactly where those parties stand there. I mean, we won't know anything about California until November. So we'll see exactly what's going on. But in other news, Penn National Gaming announced they're going to cease United States operations for the Score Bet, which is the online betting app for the Score.
I saw that. I guess they're going to concentrate. The Score is going to concentrate more in Canada. Right?
Yes, they're going to focus more on the Canadian market for the Score.
Boy, Canada is booming. Unbelievable.
The Score is one of the most popular companies that are up there anyway.
Well, I like the Score app. When it has all, it gives you all the scores and all the stats of every game. So I always use the Score app.
Now you're on the Score app a lot.
Yeah.
Do you see links to the Score Bet?
Yeah. All
the way through.
Yeah, you can link. You can get to the Score Bet. I don't have an account with the Score Bet, so I've never tried any of those links or anything like that. But
you'll see the links. They're intertwined.
I don't have my phone with me. I wish I did, but no, there are links. I don't know. I don't know now since they made this decision. I don't know what is on the Score app now. So because July 1st, I think they're going to stop all.
Yes.
Everything in the US.
They're directing everything over to the Barstool Sportsbook app.
Yeah.
And that's great for Barstool Sports.
I can tell you, the Score app also has betting news and things like that. So, they have a lot of betting information on the Score app. Yep. I know the lines, the over-unders, and I think they have some of the trends where the money's going and things like that. But, no, I've never been on the Score Bet app. I've been on the Score app.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know. I really don't use the Score too much either.
Every day, every hour almost. It's great when you're betting other places because you get notifications. You can set the Score app to certain notifications of players and teams and games, and it's great.
Well, the other thing it does for Penn National, switching over from the Score to Barstool in the United States, it frees up a lot of other market access.
Oh, sure.
So they get more the more ability to do more skins.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like in Kansas just passed sports betting, and when you drop the score, or the score bet, I should say, Penn National gained, I think, 1 or 2 extra skin licenses.
Oh, okay.
So that goes a long way in the market access deals around the country for Penn National. It increases their ability to increase their revenue streams. So say goodbye to the score bet for the United States.
Okay.
Well, it finally happened. June 1st came around, and the Ohio Gaming Commission has announced when they were going to be launching sports betting in the state.
Yeah, it's official. What is it? New Year's Day, 2023.
Yeah. That's what the law said anyway.
I really thought they'd try it a little sooner,
Well, they released the procedures on what everybody has to do step by step to the launch date. Some of those procedures can be sped up and changed as they go along.
But it's official. Everything
will be January 1st.
I'm curious to see if it'll be just one big explosion of sports betting, or is it going to – certain books will start on the 1st, other books won't start on the 1st. But that should be a big betting day in Ohio because a lot of bowl games.
Well, we just had Jack Entertainment on the show.
Sure.
And I saw a tweet from them after this date was announced. They had a picture. I think it was the Jack Cleveland property.
Yes.
They were building a sports book already.
Great.
They were physically doing the retail sports book. The way everything is set up, it looks like it's going to be a shotgun start where everyone's just going to launch.
See, it's fun like that.
Yeah.
Instead of a trickle, I like it's and January 1st is a great day to start, especially for college football. You got the bowl games, and you got bowl games after that, and the football and the playoffs. Now, whether Cleveland and Cincinnati are going to be in the playoffs in the NFL, we'll see.
Again, January 1st.
We shall see. But it's a good day to start. Like I said, I thought they would start earlier, but
they can start earlier.
Okay,
that's just the guidelines right now.
Okay,
I mean, there's a couple weeks
so there's
of
a
application
chance
process.
They might go early, but let's just bank on January 1st.
Oh yeah, no, well that's what the law says.
It'll
no later
be a pleasant
than that,
surprise if they started earlier.
Well, what they're doing is they're doing a couple weeks of applications, then they're doing a couple weeks of reviewing final plans for facilities as well as responsible gambling. Then they're going to be doing testing.
Okay.
So if any one of those windows changes in length of time, shortens up, it brings up a little bit further along. I mean, you might see something October, November. You might see World Series.
Okay.
I mean, if everything goes along the way they're doing, and also it's going to be mobile books first, they said.
All right.
And then you're going to see retail books, and then you may see the stadiums early.
Well, they're one of those states that
early 2023, but not right away.
They're going to be one of those states that allow restaurants and bars as well, right?
That's going to be coming down, but first of all, I think
that's
they're doing mobile
probably
first.
Later on, right?
Yeah, mobile is the easiest one to launch.
Okay.
So we'll see exactly what they join in with here in terms of who's going to launch first. But again, once they do have those stadium books, there's only 3 states that allow that now.
Yeah.
It's Illinois, Arizona, and Ohio.
Well,
I'm waiting for Jersey to start allowing
Ohio's going big with sports betting. Good for them.
When is Jersey going to put a sports book in the Meadowlands itself?
I don't know.
That would actually be real fun.
We shall see.
That'll be fun. But that's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Keep the press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And if you've been following along on TV, the ticker has been running all the way through this. There are news stories there that we did not have a chance to hit here. And also, if you go to turnpikesports.us and then click on the blog button, you'll see the full print version of the book report there. There's even more stories we did not have a chance to hit in this week's edition of the book report.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.